Hello folks, out at the forge again. It's been a long time since I did a video. Been short on time, a lot of things going on. I'm working on getting my license so that I can take people out on fishing trips. I am working on the boat, trying to get that done. My truck just broke down. Different truck, new truck, still broke down. Anyway, my other job, I'm a paramedic. Some of you folks might know that, and we've had a lot of training to go on with that job so we can better serve our community. Finally got back out here for a few minutes today, just going to try a little short project. I've got a little piece of 1/4 inch thick high carbon steel. I think this is 5160. And we're going to see if we can forge just a little single edge knife blade out of it. Something you can sit back in the handle, something along the Puko style blade. Anyway, just for fun, let's smack it a few times and see what happens. Okay, we're going to start out with just knocking this down into a point. Our challenge is going to be to widen this steel out so that it's wide enough to make a blade. And we're going to use a cross peen hammer to peen the steel out and make it wider. Yeah, and you know what? I burned the tip of this steel, and it's just not going to do. So, well, we'll just cut the very end off where it burned and get started again. And we'll forge the tip in again. There we go. Now we'll get on with using the cross peen. And I'm using that cross peen to hit the steel in the center and spread it out and make it wider. Now as it gets wider, it's going to get thinner, and that's fine too. Because this stock was 1/4 inch thick, so that's a little bit too thick for the blade. I'd like to have the blade 3/4 or an inch wide, something like that. I'm going to forge it out for a hidden tang or through tang, so the tang will actually go all the way through the handle. Anyway, that's the plan. The first thing I got to do is get it to the right width. So I'm pretty much going to forge the blade to finish before I even start working on the tang. Right now I'm just forging it down to the right width and the right thickness, trying to finish it out, smooth everything out pretty good. That's not looking too bad, actually. It's going to get a little wider when I forge in the bevels. Make sure everything's straight and in line. I want about a 3.5 inch blade. I don't want a big long blade on this. Now right now that blade's getting close to 5 inches. It's longer than I want. And that's okay because I'm going to need that extra forged down material at the back to forge out my tang. And right now I'm just using the horn of the anvil to put in that reverse curve. So I want the spine of the blade pretty much straight. And we'll start hammering in the bevels, drawing down the heel of the blade. And it's at this point that I realize I don't have a fullering tool to forge in my tang. Now, a spring fuller would have been just right, but as it is, I'm gonna have to muddle through with using the cross peen when I get ready to do the tang, because I broke my spring fuller and never made another one. One of these days I need to make a spring fuller on video so everybody can see what's going on with that. But for now, for today's video, we're just going to finish this blade up. So I'm continuing to work my bevels. You can see how drawing the bevels down is adding even more width to the blade. And because I put that reverse curve in it, hammering in the bevels is drawing the blade out straight, which is what I wanted. I think when I finish, this blade's going to have sort of a Scandi grind edge. A really heavily angled grind that comes down to a zero edge, just a single bevel on each side. That's actually looking pretty good. I'm happy with the shape. Time to start working on that tang a little bit. And since I don't have a fullering tool, a fullering tool would allow me to forge in both sides and set the shoulder between the blade and the tang and do both sides at once. Instead, I'm just going to have to fool around with this cross peen and forge the shoulders in this way. And then before I'm done, I'll end up having to get the hot rasp and clean everything up. I had too much material there to draw out into the tang, so we're going to nip some of that off. Should have moved the hammer up so you could see what I'm doing with my hardy cutter, but I think you can get the idea. Now we're going to draw that out to make our tang. Doesn't look like much, doesn't look like it's enough steel there, but trust me, it is. Just work carefully and keep it to the proper temperature. And the taper is going to work in all four directions, all four planes. It's going to taper in thickness and in width. And you'd be surprised how much you could draw out of that little tab of 1/4 inch steel. Yeah, I lost some of my footage. Had a camera malfunction. But you can see what's going on. Yeah, by the time I clean that shoulder up, I'll have enough tang. And what I'll do is I'll just take the blade over to the vise and hot rasp it down and clean up the shoulders. Unfortunately, my tripod won't allow me to work at the vise and do the filming, so you can sort of see what I'm going to do. I'm just going to put it in the vise and hot rasp it. And that should leave the blade pretty much finished. Okay, folks, took it over to the vise and did some hot rasping on it, even the corners out. You can see maybe that the inside of those corners is rounded a little bit. I did that with a round file. You never want a square corner on a place like that on the blade, because that just makes a weak spot. Anyway, I am running it through a couple of normalization cycles, and it's going in the annealing. It's going to make somebody a pretty nice little knife. Might just keep it myself. Thanks for watching. God bless and have a great day.